So I think I just tried the most expensive meal delivery service, at least the most expensive one that I have personally ever tried, and I have tried out a ton of them. I feel like it's been at least like 20 or something on this channel. I don't know exactly. Let's talk about Sakara Life. And I just want to say I paid for all of these meals myself. I am in no way sponsored or partnering whatsoever with the brand. I will do my best to find whatever kind of like referral link or any kind of discount I can get for you guys. I'll put that down in the description. If this is not the service for you, I 100% understand that. I don't think it's a service for me either. So if that's the case, check out my playlist of other food delivery service reviews and maybe you'll find something that is a better fit there in that case. So the ordering process is pretty easy. Like it's pretty standard for these type of services. You just sign up for an account and then choose the subscription type you want, or if you want a one-time purchase. The only negative I would say with the ordering process is you can't actually choose which meals you get. And they explain this by basically saying everything is just seasonal. So you just kind of like get what you get, and they will show you the menu a few weeks in advance. So you can at least see like, do I want this menu or not? But you can't actually like pick out specific items. So that kind of bugs me because like for this price point, like I want to make sure I really like everything, but just think about that.
So the price is definitely the biggest differentiating factor of Sakara in a bad way. And all I have to say is these meals are kind of insanely expensive. Basically, they have two different ways that you can pay for the order. You can either do a one-time order or a subscription. And the subscription is a little bit cheaper, but it's not that much cheaper, okay? It's still really expensive. So I basically got the smallest meal plan that you can get, which is 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, so 4 meals total. And this, even with the subscription on a weekly basis, is $110. So that is $27.50 per meal. And these are not dinners. This is just breakfast and lunch, which I feel like is just kind of insane. Maybe some people think it's worth it. Personally, I think it's just so far above what I would normally spend that I can't really see myself like ordering this much more than just like to try it out. And unfortunately, the problem is that it doesn't really get that much cheaper even if you get a bigger plan. So the biggest plan that you can get is 5 days a week, 3 meals a day, so 15 meals total. And even that is $20 per meal. It's $420 total per week, which is just, I don't know. I think it's really expensive. I think it could be worth it if you just have a very big food budget and you just want like a super healthy, really convenient thing and you don't want to have to even think about it. That's how the price works. It's really expensive. Like I said though, I do have just like a generic referral code that literally anyone can get that will save you some money. If you do want to try it out, you can get a steep discount on your first order. So check that out if you're interested. But yeah, I think this is probably gonna be out of budget for most people. Everything is shipped to you just through the regular mail in this big cardboard box, and everything is shipped fresh over ice, so nothing is frozen. I had honestly no problems with the shipping. Everything was cold when I got it. I think even if you're not home during the delivery, you should be totally fine with the shipping, I would say. One thing I will note is actually if you're getting a larger plan, they will actually ship to you twice a week. So if you have a Mac Daddy 5 days per week plan, they will actually ship you 2 separate boxes. So they definitely are trying to keep things fresh, which I can tell with shipping, but overall, no problems there. One thing I was a little bit surprised about with the packaging is there is quite a bit of plastic in the packaging, which I was a little bit disappointed with, especially with Sakara's whole ethos of like wellness and all that stuff. As far as like the functionality of the packaging, I feel like it was pretty good. Like they had a lot of really unique packaging, like these salad kits that have like a separate little like container for the toppings, and you poured it into the salad and like mix it up. I feel like that was all really good. So no major problems there. I think especially because most of these items are designed to eat cold, so it's not like you're meant to heat the food in the packaging, but I did want to call that out if that's something that is important to you. So I think it's fair to say that the nutrition of these meals is probably the biggest selling point, at least what Sakara is trying to sell to you, and I can honestly see why. I feel like everything is very much like healthy, like it's very nutrient dense. You can definitely tell that they put a lot of effort into putting a lot of superfoods, so to speak, in the meals. I feel like there's so many dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, chia seeds, fruits, everything that's healthy, I feel like they've packed into these meals. I could tell. I think this is by far probably the most healthy feeling meal delivery service that I have probably ever tried, and I have tried a lot of them. However, just some things to note on the nutritional side of things. So everything is totally plant-based. As far as I can tell, everything is organic. One thing to note though is they don't actually have any sort of like nutrition facts or calories on their packaging. Maybe there's some way to like dig and find the information, but they don't kind of surface that to you. I think it could be positive if you're someone who like, you don't want to stress too much over the calories. Maybe you're in a bad habit of like being kind of obsessive over tracking every single calorie or like being nervous about that stuff. Then I think this could be really nice because they don't really surface that to you. But I think if you're someone that does want to track, then that could be a negative. So just think about that.
So let's talk about the specific meals that I tried. So I had 2 breakfasts and 2 lunches. Both of the lunches were both salads, and I did kick things off with one of those salads. So the first one I had was the Sakara Niçoise salad. I think that's how you say it. And when I first saw this, I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was really pretty underwhelming. It looked like just like a very generic kind of like grab and go salad that you could get anywhere, but I thought it ended up being actually really pretty good. So what I was really impressed with was just how fresh everything was. It's been a very, very long time, if ever, since I've ever had a meals delivery service that had like really fresh leafy green salads like this. Most of the time with services like this, everything is already pre-cooked or frozen already. So I liked just how fresh and flavorful all the fruits and vegetables and all the ingredients were. But at the end of the day, it didn't like totally blow me away. So I gave this one a 6 out of 10. The second one I tried was the sweet Thai oatmeal with pandan coconut milk. This is one of the breakfasts. And this one, I'm gonna be honest, this one was really, really delicious. I thought it was super decadent and creamy. Basically, this one, they gave you a little container of oatmeal and then you poured this coconut milk over it. And it was just so good. It was a really generous portion, I think. It was really filling. They had nice, fresh mangoes in here. And I liked that it was a really sweet flavor. It was just really delicious. I gave this one a 9 out of 10. The only reason I gave it a 9 instead of a 10 out of 10 is I feel like there was just a tiny bit of like a chalky texture in the coconut milk, but I don't know, still I would definitely eat this again. It was really delicious. And then third, I had another breakfast item. So this was the chia and coconut protein waffles. So this one I also liked, but definitely was not as good as that first breakfast. I think it had a nice flavor, but it tasted a little bit too like whole grainy to me, which is not my favorite flavor. So I didn't quite like it as much as like regular waffles, but I thought it was still pretty good. The only thing I didn't like about this is they said you could heat it in the oven, which I did, but they didn't give instructions in terms of like how long you're supposed to heat it up for. So I wasn't really sure if I did it a little too long or too little. And it ended up maybe a little bit overcooked because it ended up being like a little bit crispy, but overall I would say 6 out of 10. And then finally I had another salad, and this one I liked better than the other salad. So this was the acorn squash salad, and this one was honestly really, really good. I think this is one of the best salads I've had in a long time. I like that it had this nice sweet flavored dressing, and it just again tasted really fresh. So I would give this one a 8 out of 10. So all in all, like I actually really did like this service. If this was a less expensive service, I would 100% still keep ordering from them because I really appreciated how fresh and healthy everything was. And I think everything tasted like really surprisingly good for how like healthy it was. You guys, like I cannot get over the price of this. It is just so expensive. It is totally out of my budget for like a normal weekday kind of thing. I can't really justify it for my budget, but I think if you are someone who really wants to have like the most fresh, healthy meals delivery service, you want something that's organic, plant-based, and you have the budget for it, then I wish I could be you. And then in that case, I would definitely recommend this. But for anyone else, I would say check out my playlist of other reviews and you might find something else that is a better fit for you there. And until next time, bye.